Coming up on today's episode of Parasport Nation, two-time Paralympian Erica Scarff joins the show to discuss her career in para-kayak and para-canoe, as well as her recent fifth-place finish at the 2025 World Cup. Let's get started.
Welcome to Parasport Nation with Alex Smyth and Nathan Clement.
Welcome into Parasport Nation. I'm your host, Alex Smyth, as always, joined by co-host Nathan Clement. Nathan, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Alex. It was a beautiful weekend here in Vancouver. Sun is a-shining, and there's a lot of sports happening right now with the Stanley Cup Finals about to start, NBA Finals, but also so much in the world of parasport, and there's no better way than just diving right into the Parasport Update.
Now, the PSN Update.
The conclusion to the 2024 Para Hockey World Championship saw Canada pitted against the United States. Opening the scoring early, the U.S. reclaimed their title as world champions with a 6-1 victory over Canada. Liam Hickey grabbed the only tally for the Canadians. In the land down under, Canada's wheelchair rugby team came back from a 0-2 deficit in round-robin play before finishing 3-2 and earning a berth in the bronze medal match against Brazil. In the match, Canada fell to Brazil, finishing in 4th place. Keeping on the hard court, Canada's wheelchair rugby national championships crowned a champion. The Wild Rose province of Alberta won the championship, defeating Ontario in the final. BC came third to round out the podium. In Sweden, Canada's women's goalball team captured bronze with a 5-2 victory over their rivals, the United States, at the Women's Intercity Cup in Malmo. Keeping in Europe, Austin Smyth captured a new America's record at the Smyth National Championships, where Smyth clocked a 3:03 in the 1500 meter. And that's the PSN update.
Tons to break down in that update. Obviously, at the top of that list is the Para Ice Hockey World Championships, Canada falling to U.S. in the final. Not quite the results that Canada and everyone was hoping for on this side of the border, but, you know, the U.S., they weren't going to roll over and let Canada repeat as champions without putting up a major fight, Nathan.
Yeah, it was a tough start for Canada with a penalty early on into the games, and the U.S. got a couple early goals that way, but just that fight and resolve by the Canadian team, especially right after with that top line of McGregor, Cozzolino, and Hickey working to get that goal back, showed a lot of hope for the future, but it was just not their day with the U.S. taking it 6-1, but overall it was a very exciting tournament and a lot of great takeaways, hopefully, for that team now that we start really focusing and turning our attentions to Milano Cortina on the ice. But we also had quite a comeback for Canada's wheelchair rugby team when they were down 0-2 in round-robin play and coming back to force themselves into the bronze medal match. That was a pretty remarkable job by them.
Yeah, you know, because I'm sure for any team sport, as soon as you lose one game, you lose two games, where you're literally, it's like, okay, it's win or go home here on out in this tournament. The amount of pressure that can be on the team to go out there and perform after a rocky start, that can be really tough. But the fact that they were able to do it, claw their way back, make it to a bronze medal match with an opportunity to medal and podium, unfortunately falling short, I still want to commend them for going through that journey. For yourself, Nathan, whenever the start for a competition is not off to a great start, how hard is it to kind of refocus, to get back into the swing of things and make sure, okay, I still have an opportunity to have a good finish. I can focus on my fundamentals, focus on what's gotten me to this point so far, and I can claw my way back. Like, how hard is it to refocus in the middle of a competition like that?
I think it's one of those big things where, especially with the wheelchair rugby program, there's a really tight collective there. You have leaders like Travis Morrow and also up-and-coming stars like Rio Quebec on that roster and on that team. So they've been here before. They've been in situations where maybe the first match doesn't go their way, especially when you're going up against great countries like they do in a tournament. But the biggest thing is just having that communication as a country, as a team. Now, I'm just an individual sport athlete. I've done some team sports, but primarily just seeing the camaraderie that those team sports have to really just make sure everyone is there for each other and no one's being left behind. And even if someone's struggling, you're there to support him. You're there to use your strength and your abilities to help everyone else succeed. So just to come back that way and fight and push to a bronze medal match where maybe it's not the nicest feeling right now losing that game to Brazil, but just knowing what you're capable of goes so far and beyond anything else, and really building that palette of success going into the future.
Well, speaking of success, Austin Smyth, a new world record. This guy is racking them up nonstop. Like, what do you attribute his success to?
I've been able to speak with Austin on many occasions, and really my first interaction with Austin in the Paralympic Village back in the fall was him and I talking about air pressure. What kind of wheel pressure, what kind of air pressure are you running? What kind of, are you running tubes, tubeless? And he just has such an incredible brain and mindset, and breaking down the science of the sport and really taking all this knowledge and trying to acquire it, trying to really become the best athlete he can be, whether it's as an athlete with all the training he's doing out in Victoria at the PICE, the Pacific Institute for Sport Excellence over there in Victoria, or what he's doing off and outside of the athletics track. But I think overall, just Austin, what he's done in Switzerland last year, he set a world record there, and now to set an America's record at the Swiss National Championships is just absolutely phenomenal. And just continuing that leap forward, that step up to hopefully many great things this year, but in the years to come leading into LA in 2028.
Yeah, if I was Austin, I would probably give strong consideration to maybe just sticking around in Switzerland a bit longer, whether it's something in the water or it's just the fresh air. Something is leading to great results for him on the track. But speaking of results, let's turn our attention now to our interview with Erica Scarff. She is a two-time Paralympian. She's joining the show to talk a bit about her journey in para-canoe and para-kayak. Her recent achievement was a fifth place finish at the 2025 World Cup. Here's Erica. Erica, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So you are fresh off a competition. You placed fifth at the World Cup. What was that experience like for you?
It was a really exciting race. It was our first one back since the Paralympics, so I had a bit of a longer break, and so it was really nice to finally kind of be back into the swing of things. And yeah, it was really exciting to be out there with my competitors and meet some new competitors. And yeah, it was a really challenging race, but it was a lot of fun.
Erica, thank you for joining us. As you mentioned, that's your first race back from Paris. But I want to go back to Paris. What was that experience like for you to be at your second games, and maybe just talk through, because I know with para-canoe, para-kayak, a lot of the time you stayed outside of the village. So maybe tell our viewers what that experience was like.
Yeah, so Paris was such an amazing experience. It was my second Paralympics, and my first one was actually in 2016. So I missed out on 2020. So it was even more special for me to be back after, having a bit of a low point in my career. And yeah, coming back to Paris, our venue was about an hour outside of Paris. So we got to stay in a hotel nearby. There was definitely some pros and cons. It was really nice to kind of be close to our venue. We're about 10-minute drive away, and we're nice and comfortable, and we had AC and all these things that a lot of the comforts that we heard that some athletes didn't have in the village. But at the same time, it was a little bit tough to kind of be away from all our teammates in the other sports and feel like we were missing out a little bit. But we still felt like we were part of the team because we got to visit the village a few times and then be present at closing ceremonies. So yeah, there was some pros and cons to it.
And for yourself, you made the switch from kayak to canoe, and it just happened both times to coincide with the events being at the Paralympics for your classification. Why did you want to make that switch from going from kayak into canoe?
Yeah, well, I think once the opportunity presented itself that it would be at the at the Paralympics, then it gave me an opportunity and a chance to kind of like reassess like what I wanted to do with the sport and to kind of just give it a try. So when I started canoe, I loved it like pretty much immediately, and I found myself getting better results in the canoe than the kayak. And also I thought it would be pretty special to be a part of this event, like the because my category would be in the Paralympics for the first time. So I thought it was just kind of a cool opportunity all around. And then I just really took advantage of it. And yeah, the transition was, it's difficult because in canoeing, we steer with our blade, whereas in kayak, we steer with our rudder. So that was a challenge to learn how to steer, and it continues to be. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and yeah, it was just kind of a good time for me to like switch over disciplines.
You've now been in the sport for over 10 years. I want to go back to the start. How did you get involved in para canoe, para kayak?
Yeah, I first started the sport in 2013, and so to go back even further, I lost my leg in 2009 to cancer. And before that, even, I was a gymnast. So I had always grown up around sports, and a big loss after my amputation was not having sports, not having that social outlet, the community, the physical outlet, everything that goes along with being an athlete. And so, yeah, that was really difficult for me. And I did explore a few sports, but nothing really kind of lit the spark in me the same way that gymnastics did. So I just kept looking. And then one day I coincidentally met a woman named Mary Allery, and she invited me to come out and try it. And so, yeah, from the first time I sat in the boat, I was just super excited to be there and to work hard. And I just felt like this is something that I wanted to kind of devote my time to and see where it could go. I also wanted to add, sorry, I forgot to add that me and Mary, we met at a prosthetic clinic. So it was just a really big coincidence. So I feel like really lucky that I met her. And then she coached me up until my first Paralympics in 2016. And then she continues to be a good friend and mentor to me.
And can you talk a bit about that relationship and how that has really kind of helped lay the foundation to where you are today as an athlete, but also as someone who has gone through the process of kind of discovering life with limb loss and where you've kind of gone from that humble beginning in that first meeting?
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel really lucky to have met her because it was a really big coincidence. It was like really great timing. And yeah, we worked together like very smoothly. And at that time, like 2016 was the first time our sport was in the Paralympics at all. So it was really brand new. There was not a lot of around the country. There was not necessarily a lot of like awareness of the sport or like expertise in coaching specific to para within our sport. So I was just really lucky to meet her. And now luckily since then the sport has grown a lot. But yeah, so Mary just continues to be someone who kind of like keeps me on track. And even though she's not directly coaching me, she's always encouraging me and just really looking out for me. So it's been it was really special to have her. And I also look up to her in the way that she's chosen to give back to the community, like through coaching and through just supporting para athletes and women in sport as well.
You mentioned you tried a lot of other sports, and you tried sit skiing and para alpine, and at the 2023 Canada Winter Games, you ended up winning 3 golds. What was that experience like at the Canada Winter Games?
Yeah, I love cross country skiing so much. It was such a great. I actually started to do it shortly after I missed out on qualifying for Tokyo. Obviously, that was a hard thing for me to deal with. So I looked for. I wanted a little bit of time away from my sport, but still to stay active and involved. So I started cross country skiing in the summer, and I was out on like some road skis and doing some cross training, and I really enjoyed the community and they were so supportive. And yeah, so I continued to pursue cross country skiing as kind of like cross training for paddling, and then going to the 2023 Canada Winter Games was an amazing experience. The Canada Games, I feel like it's such a special event. It's like a mini Olympics, and you get to experience that multi-sport games on like a bit of a smaller scale, but so special to compete for your province. And then yeah, it was an amazing event. And one of the highlights, I think, was that in one of those races, we actually tied for gold. I tied for gold with a girl from BC named Lily. And yeah, it was so cool just to tie down to that close of margins. So yeah, there's a lot of fun moments from that event.
And you're not the only one on the national team that is kind of accustomed to the cross training, the multi-sport. We've had your teammate Brianna Hennessy on many times, and she's talked about all the different countless sports that she has done and continues to search. I wonder, do you ever pick her brain about like kind of the certain sports she's trying or the cross training and kind of compare a bit of notes, because you're both trying different sports and finding new avenues and new sports that you really kind of enjoy and have success in too?
Yeah, so I know Brianna is obviously wheelchair rugby star. She is that's her main cross training, and I know that's been really helpful for her to kind of the way that she kind of describes it for me is just to kind of keep that energy and that passion going, because it can be a long winter of training in the gym and whatnot, because obviously we're a summer sport. So yeah, just it's really great for us to have cross training over the winter. And then yeah, this past winter, Brianna also tried out some cross country skiing too. So hopefully we can do that together sometime.
Throughout your career, you've had a very decorated career, and one thing you've really shown is that resilience and that ability to come back, whether it's injuries or through different competitions. Is there anything that you take the most pride in as an athlete?
Well, I think there's been a few like performances that I'm really proud of, but I think yeah, what's always been really important to me is like being a good member of the team and kind of just supporting my teammates and being proud of their successes, and just like trying to uplift my teammates who are on Team Canada, but also like try to uplift the sport in general through some like coaching locally here. And so I would say, yeah, if I look back on my career, what I want to be most proud of is just, yeah, being like a positive person for those around me, and yeah, someone that can be trusted, and yeah, that would be what I'm most proud of, and yeah.
Those are always important things to strive for. I'm curious, because you've done some of these cross trainings already. Is there a sport that you haven't tried yet that you'd like to try your hand at? Maybe, whether it's during the off season or there's something else when you're at one of these multi-sport competitions that are like, hey, that would be really fun to try it once or twice.
Yeah, well, I really want to try out athletics. So whether that's like throwing or wheelchair racing, I see them out there. They're always working so hard, and I'm really impressed by all the para-athletics athletes. So that's something I really want to try out.
And now seeing, at least from the outside perspective, para-canoe, para-kayak, you get to go to many different locations around the world. Do you have a favorite food city that you get to go to, or favorite food destination that you get to visit?
Yeah, yeah, the traveling is definitely a great part of our sport. So I'm actually vegetarian, so that kind of like limits it a little bit. But I would say being in Paris, that was incredible. Like all the food was amazing, especially after like competitions, trying out all the baked goods and stuff. Yeah, and even like oh, sorry. And we also got to travel to like Brazil for 2016 Paralympics, and the food there was like incredible as well.
Did you have a chance to try those chocolate croissants? Because that's apparently was the big baked item from Paris.
Oh, yeah, like the chocolate muffins in the village. Yeah, those were really good. Did you try those, Nathan?
I did, yeah. I personally, and I have a controversial take on it. I wasn't the biggest fan of them. I just found them way too sweet. But there was also so many other good, like little hidden foods, little hidden dishes. Were you able to at all, when you visited the village, to try like the Michelin star dishes at all, or no?
Oh no, we didn't get to try those. That sounds awesome though. Yeah, I think we got like one meal in the village and everything was amazing, but we didn't try anything Michelin star, I don't think.
No, I was just going to say that's always the problem when your sport is at a separate location, especially for canoe kayak. You've got to be on the water. You're not necessarily always in the location that benefits to have that greater kind of Paralympic village set up. Going forward, as we look in this next, quadrennial, as moving forward in terms of sports, what are you looking forward to? What goals have you set for yourself? Do you have your sights set on LA, or is there other goals and in kind of an other focus for you leading up to that?
Yeah, well, I definitely have LA in mind and on the horizon, hopefully. But for me, this year will actually be my 10th World Championships, and that's going to be in Milan, Italy, which is the same location as my first World Championships. So I think this is going to be like a really cool, like full circle moment for me to go back, especially with like having Italian heritage myself. So that's something I'm really looking forward to, and yeah, and then just having that be a building block for the next, hopefully 3 years now, or 3.5 years going into LA.
You also mentioned that you're doing a lot of coaching work, and helping that next generation is so important in para and Paralympic sport. Would there be anything that you'd want to say to kids or people who are wanting to try para canoe, para kayak for the first time?
Yeah, well, I definitely know one of the things, like people coming to the sport. So, a lot of people may have like a fear around being on the water or like being in a boat. It might be their first time. So, yeah, whenever you try it out, just trust and obviously vet to make sure, but trust that like you'll be safe and have and that way you can kind of like focus on enjoying the experience of being on the water, because it is such kind of, for me at least, I would describe it as such a so much freedom that I feel being in the boat. So if you have the opportunity to try it, I think even if it's recreationally, it's such a great thing to do, especially if you're someone that has like lower body limitations. Once you're sitting in the boat, it's really like a level playing field, and yeah, it's just, for me, I would just always describe it as freedom. So yeah, if you get the opportunity, definitely try it out.
Yeah, that freedom is so special, and especially being in a country like Canada when the summer is so amazing, no matter where you are. It's definitely something that's just so refreshing and so invigorating just getting out there. But we really appreciate your time today, Erica. Thank you for joining us, and all the best on the road to Milan for the World Championships.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
That was our conversation with Erica Scarff, who a member of the National Para Canoe and Kayak team. Nathan, I just get that overall sense in chatting with Erica, just what a lovely personality, a bit soft-spoken, but the resilience that she has had throughout her life and her career. She didn't always kind of mention it, but it's under there in those undertones. It's the amount of adversity she's had to deal with, and still being a high-level athlete, still competing, still breaking through and coming away with strong finishes. It's something truly to be admired.
It really is, and I hope that came across in the interview, because she is someone who's so soft-spoken, but being soft-spoken, she shows that she cares. She cares about her teammates. She cares about her sport and making sure everyone's able to access and everyone's able to compete and have a good time. And she is such a role model and leader in parasport, where she's even done incredible jobs documenting her journey on Instagram and on social media, really being honest, being vulnerable throughout there. And she's just an incredible piece to have, a part of this amazing Canadian Paralympic sport jigsaw that we have in this country. And just to really see her even talk about the Canada the Canada Winter Games and just talking about that narrow tie. It's so special just to hear her passion and hear her celebrate other people that she's competed against and she also has as teammates.
Yeah, and it's always fascinating. It'll never get tiring or boring for me to talk about athletes cross-training in other sports, because you're a high-performance athlete. You can go and literally have all the success in one sport, but you still want to be better. You still want to try something different, improve yourself, or find a new challenge. And going and discovering multiple sports like she has, I think is something truly special. And I mean, she has a teammate to pick the brain of with Brianna Hennessy, who we know is one of the the poster athletes for cross-training in multiple sports. So there's no surprise there.
Yeah, just that whole program as a whole, and as well as Mathieu St. Pierre too. Everything that they've done on that roster and on that squad is just phenomenal. And she did mention, like, being outside of the village, you really have to be tight as a whole, be tight as a group there. And they just show that in spades, is just their personality, who they are, and how they really are going out there to make sure everyone's okay, everyone's good. And it's just really special when you have that kind of work ethic and dedication that you see in their sport, but they're also venturing into other sports to be the leaders, to be advocates, but also just for the love of what they want to do and just trying to be the best athlete and be the best person they can be.
Yeah, and speaking of being tight with the group, well, we're tight up against the clock, so that's it for today's episode. Thank you for watching and listening. Be sure to follow us, like us on Instagram, Parasport Nation AMI. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube, Parasport Nation, and on AMI Audio. Until next time, take care.
Thanks for tuning in to Parasport Nation. Like and subscribe to the channel to follow us now.